And I apologize to him and Anna, and I don't know if there's anybody else here from the capstone class. Doesn't look like it in advance because they're going to get a slightly elongated version of this in a few weeks. So maybe you don't even have to come that day, I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to share a little bit, as I said, about the second screen. Some of the stuff that's more obvious to you about using social media around television viewing, and maybe some things that are not as obvious. And in fact, I'm going to demonstrate for you a little bit later some of the second screen apps that have been designed especially for television viewing, not Twitter and Facebook or Pinterest or Instagram, those sort of general social media sites or apps, but some of the specific to television apps, because I think they show where the future is going in terms of watching television and engaging in the social media at the same time. So let's start out with an example from last night. This is actually just a little bit, a preview, or not a preview, a review of American Idol from last night.
And now we're going to find out who gets that final stool. Let's take a look at what got you here.
These are the final two contestants. One of them is going to get to stay, and one of them is going to have to go home. So this is where they're going to bring in Twitter in a slightly different manner than they have done in the past.
Sorry to say, baby, you didn't make it. Janelle, you're through!
This is live Twitter with these two hashtags. Idol agree, idol disagree. And in real time, you can see whether or not the audience agrees with the judges. All right. You can see the graph, and it was changing in real time as people were sending in their thumbs up or thumbs down on whether they agreed with the judges. Now that's kind of a stupid question, because agree with the judges about what? They kicked out 5 people and they saved 5 people. So I don't really know what that question means, but they announced yesterday, that is the producers of American Idol, that as the show goes live, you may not know it, but this is all taped so far, but when the show goes live next week, they're going to be incorporating through the AT&T Idol fan meter, all kinds of polling that's going to be occurring while the performers are singing, while the judges are yakking, and that sort of thing. So you have an opportunity to do this in a slightly different way than before. Here's what I mean by this fan meter. They set this up. Sorry, you already know that, don't you? Dismiss. So this is all the social media around American Idol. And you can see that this is changing in real time. They've tried to drive traffic. Sorry, I won't make you watch the Ford commercial. So you can see that in real time, this is changing because they've driven traffic from the show to the website. People can continue to vote. If I wanted to vote now, even though the show's not on live, if I agreed with the judges, they'll customize a tweet for me. I can send it, and away it goes, and it can have a minuscule impact on the percentages that are there. I'm not going to tweet this because I don't want to seem quite that lame, but anyway, here it is. It's changing. You can also see they've got their Twitter feed from the show's producers, also their Twitter feed from fans. So they're engaging in lots of ways with social media, and they have a sponsor. AT&T is paying for the privilege of showcasing the social media in the second screen experience there. Okay? So, why? Why are all these television programs, and American Idol is just one of many, almost every live television show has at least some kind of Twitter integration into it now. Why are they doing it? The obvious reason is because lots and lots of people say they are using a second screen while they're watching TV. This is a rather busy chart from Nielsen, AC Nielsen, the television ratings company, and they looked last fall at how many people who have a tablet or a smartphone, how many of them were using them during live TV viewing as a second screen experience. And you can see down the middle, light blue, I never do it, dark green, I do it several times a day. If you look at the bars, basically more than 60% of people with tablets are doing it at least several times a week. Similar numbers over here for people with smartphones. So of those people who have a phone, a smartphone, or a tablet, and that's a growing number, right? Most of them are using them while watching television. You can see the differences in age on smartphones, younger people more than older people, or tablets, because a lot of this is still more parents or older folks have tablets than younger. You see kind of a little bit of variability there. But the point is that most Americans are using their smartphones or tablets at least occasionally to engage in second screen view. We started talking about the Twitter effect a lot last summer. I mean, people have been incorporating Twitter into television programs longer than that. But when the Summer Olympic Games from London used Twitter to drive traffic to TV viewing, they saw something important. If you know anything about the Olympic telecasts from the past many years, viewership, total viewership has been declining, right? And ratings have been declining for the live viewing of the Olympics. That pattern changed. That trend was reversed with the Summer Olympics from London last year. And many television programmers believe that Twitter was largely responsible, that viewer engagement was largely responsible for driving up live viewing of the Olympic broadcasts. More live viewing, more people see the commercials, more money for the networks, more money for the Olympic organizers, they're all happy, right? For example, when Usain Bolt won the 100 meters, again repeated, during the time the race was going on and immediately after it when they were showing the replays of his victory, 80,000 plus tweets a minute just for that one event during the Olympics, okay? Before that, the MTV Video Music Awards was taking advantage of Twitter to great effect. I took this snapshot from their website about a week and a half after the live broadcast, and they had 3.5 million tweets around that broadcast, and you can see that they had a nice little infographic that showed you which artists were receiving the most tweets per minute. These numbers don't seem like very much, 24 tweets a minute for Lady Gaga, but a week and a half after the broadcast they were still getting those. So they found that the level of engagement by using Twitter was really heightened. For news, we saw the same thing happening with the presidential debates last fall. This is a chart from the Denver debate, the first one, where it was believed that President Obama didn't do so well. And you can track the total number of tweets, and by matching that with the timeline of the debate and what the candidates were talking about, you could see which statements by Romney and Obama were having the most impact. The rather depressing thing about this is that if you looked at it, the most tweets were not about the most issue-worthy activity during the debates. It was whether Romney was dissing Big Bird or Obama was making some kind of offhand, sarcastic remark about Romney. That's when you get the most tweets. And for those of you who have followed, or used Twitter around second screen, you know a lot of it tends to be irony and jokes and slamming the opposition, and that's kind of what it's like. So to the extent that you think, well, Twitter is really helping to drive more people to show an interest in politics, that may be true. Are they learning a lot about politics or engaging in high-level conversations about issues? Maybe not. Twitter even used the interest in second screen viewing to create something called the Twindex, the Twitter Political Index, and it followed over time how people were rating Romney versus Obama at any given time during the campaign. If you scored above a 50, that was a positive. If you scored below a 50, it was trending negative. This was taken about a week after the election. They shut it down in late December, and if you looked at it now, you'd see that neither Obama nor Romney has a high score, but that's because people were losing interest in the election very quickly after. Facebook, we shouldn't forget about it either. Most people talk about Twitter when it comes to real-time second screen experience, but this was another study that was released. It was conducted last fall. It was released in January. And what it basically shows is that more people actually use Facebook while they're watching television than use Twitter. Now, what the question was, how do you get people to talk about television? Now, that's different. Think about that. What sources on the internet or whatever do you use to talk about TV? Not surprisingly, you talk with the people who are watching TV in the room with you physically. and then maybe you talk to people on the phone, or texted, or emailed, or instant messages. But Facebook was more important than Twitter or other social networks. Okay? So you should have a good Facebook strategy if you're a television program provider, because it's still an important source. Facebook and Twitter, we all know about that. But the second screen experience is a very complicated ecosystem right now. There are apps out there that do much more than allow people to send short messages and share with friends what's going on television. There are apps that serve up ads to the second screen experience. There are platforms that do analytics to measure the audience of people engaged in second screen activity. There are apps that provide rewards for watching TV and using a second screen app at the same time. There are apps that can actually act as a remote control to control your television viewing while you're engaged in second screen activity, and many more other things. So it's a very complex ecosystem, even though it's only been around now for a year or two. Let's talk a little bit about some of those apps, those specialty apps, not Facebook, not Twitter, but some of the apps created just for second screen viewing. There's some of them. You think that many companies with that many second screen apps can survive economically? Are you going to check out that many apps when you're engaged in watching television? What do we know about apps? I mean, people download a lot of apps to their phones and to their tablets. How many of them do they actually use beyond maybe the first trial period or two? What do you think? What would you guess the research shows is how many apps the average person uses on a regular basis on their smartphone? Just take a wild guess.
5.
Yeah, somewhere between 5 and 10. You can get them all on the first screen of your phone, let's put it that way, okay? Most people do not use all the apps they download. These companies, most of them by this time next year will have gone up in smoke. Poof, they're gone, okay? But there's a lot of innovation out there because there are a lot of companies trying to figure out their niche in the second screen TV viewing world. And because there's a lot of innovation, there's a lot of different features or functions we can show you that will probably end up being aggregated in 2, 3, 4, 5 companies that can still be successful at doing this down the road. What do television viewers get out of it, and what do television program providers get out of the second screen experience? Because you're not going to invest in the second screen apps, and program providers are not going to create content designed for the second screen unless it helps their bottom line, right? Well, there's lots of benefits to the viewer that you can think of. You can make TV viewing a more personalized experience, right? You can not only watch the shows you want, and the second screen apps can help you find those shows, but you can create personal content around those shows. You can participate actively in a community of viewers, right? You can take part in the conversation or just watch the conversation. It's totally up to you, but there's lots of social engagement opportunities that also can help the bottom line, right? The more engaged your audience is in your program, the more likely it is they're going to come back and watch it next time. The more likely it is they're going to watch the ads, that they're going to bring revenue to your station, right? But the most important effect right now of second screen experience for the TV program providers is this. There's more live viewing, okay? How do we oftentimes watch TV these days? Do we watch all of our programming live? No, I mean, we record it on our DVR, we stream it over the internet, we watch it on our tablet or our laptop or our phone. A lot of it is, a lot of the viewing is not live, okay? But there's a problem for the television program provider when you watch the programming and you've time shifted it. What do you tend to do when the commercials come on? You skip them, right? You fast forward through them, okay? Well, when you're watching TV live, you're less likely to do that, okay? I mean, you could go get a sandwich or go to the bathroom or do something else, but you're more likely to be exposed to the ads since you can't fast forward through them, right? And so these second screen apps are being used by a lot of live programming providers, whether it's sports or entertainment programs or whatever, because you can keep people loyal to the advertising message.
Mike, are they then, like Dexter's one of the shows I watch?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good because they don't have commercials. I'm wondering if they're like asking you audience participation questions during the commercials, or are they leaving that commercial time kind of sacred space?
It depends. I mean, I have actually, I hesitate to admit this, but anybody watch the Next Iron Chef show on Food Network? Anybody besides me watch that competition show? Well, they use their second screen experience to have the questions tie into the show during the commercial breaks, okay? But I've seen others that do not, right, for the reasons that you described. And I've also seen second screen apps where they have sponsorship from the people running the ads in the live broadcast also appearing on the second screen app. So if you don't see it on TV, you might see it while you're on the app, okay? Or even ask you questions about the products, because there's so much product placement going on in the shows themselves. You can even have quiz questions about that. There are all kinds of different second screen apps. There are some that are designed just for specific shows. This is a very popular one, right? Team Coco with Conan O'Brien's show. There are lots of second screen apps that are designed just for individual programs, okay? There are also networks that have second screen apps for all of their shows. Now, I don't mean the ABC News app for the iPad or the CNN app for the iPhone or whatever. Those are general purpose news and information apps. I mean second screen apps that are designed for you while you're watching this network's programming to also engage in the second screen. And MTV is one of those networks that's really advanced the ball quite a bit in second screen. I'm going to show you their apps live here in just a minute so you see what I'm talking about. There are apps that are viewer guides. This is the TV Guide app, and I'm going to show you that one in a minute. TV Guide is actually generating its own revenue. The broadcasters, they get a cut. I mean, there are ways that they can benefit from this too, but TV Guide has its own interactive viewing guide that's been supplemented with a lot of other material as a way to keep you with the TV Guide app and with their sponsors. There are reward apps. Okay? So if you're watching TV and you're using certain second screen apps, that GetGlue is the one on the left, you can get little badges or stickers, right? Depending on how many shows you've watched and all of that. There are actual more extrinsic rewards, like real points you can earn, and then products you can buy if you use other apps like Vigil. I mean, it's designed specifically for, among other things, rewarding you for watching TV and then cashing it in with their sponsors. There are apps that allow you to do real-time tagging of content. And this is something where for news, it hasn't been exploited very much yet, but it's a real opportunity. Meaning the program provider, whether it's a show that's on the air now, but it's been pre-produced, or a live program like news or sporting events, where the producer take you into a social media environment around it. Does it work for news? We don't really know yet because news providers haven't engaged in as much second screen activity as have other program providers. But for example, this is Vigil on the left, and you can see the Today Show is using it to give viewers an opportunity to take part in a poll, you know, or this is a trivia question rather. Do you know what Pitbull's nickname is? He's going to be on the air on the Today Show. And if you guess right, you earn some points and you can cash it in for prizes, okay? On the right, you see the Z-Box app, and here is, it's tied into NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams, and you can use it in real time to tweet, to get tags from the newscast, and find out more information about the topics of the show. So some news providers, mostly at the network level, have been using them. There's very little activity yet in terms of second screen experience around local news, and that's a real opportunity for somebody to get into that space. There are a few companies that are trying, but nobody's come up with a really great app there yet. And then there are some apps, and this is one I really like in terms of news, that can discover live news, sports, and entertainment content in real time. And then they can help you, after you've discovered content you might be interested in, direct you to channels where people are talking about that content right now. So I'm going to demonstrate some of these apps for you. It's going to take me a moment to switch gears. I think if you wanted to stop the recording and start a new one, you can. This would be a good time to do it. But in just a moment, after I get my cable switched over here, we'll demo some of these apps for you. And be thinking about your questions, because I'm going to make sure we got plenty of time for that too.
You should stop it.
I did stop it. It stopped itself, and then I restarted it. Should I turn it off and turn it back on?
You said to record them.
I did.
Oh,
Come on, iPad. There we go. All right. So we're going to take a look at some of those apps I've been talking about. You'll see them work in real time, and then we'll talk about whether or not they're effective. So we're going to start out with Team Coco, the Conan O'Brien app. One of the first things that you'll notice is this. Try the tablet plus TV sync mode in 4 hours and 34 minutes. Conan's going to be on live on TBS. You can even set an alert with your smartphone or your tablet so that it will give you a push notification when the show's about to start. And then you can sync it up, and in sync mode, you can take part in quizzes and humor and polls and other things while the show's on the air. Obviously, it's not on the air now, so they want to encourage you to still be engaged in the program when it's not live. Here are some of the ways they do it. Okay? You can watch recent episodes. If I were to click on last night's show, how do I want to watch it? Oh, let's just do tablet only.
Who thinks more is better than less?
Of course, it's sponsored.
Okay, why?
More is better than less because if stuff is not live.
There are all kinds of sharing
there's more
opportunities
live
on the
stuff,
side, right?
you
Social
might-
media, you can
might
share
wanna
this with friends,
add some more,
add
and your
comments.
parents don't let you because there's only a little.
I don't actually want to watch the whole episode or that AT&T commercial. I've seen it so many times, it's driving me crazy. But you get the idea. Or there are featured clips. So if I want to just see certain segments of the show that the producers think I might want to watch, I can do that. And the nav bar down at the bottom, do I just want to see clips of the celebrity guests who've been on the program recently? Or the comedy sketches? Or the live music? Okay?
Who thinks more is better than
Oh,
less?
I know.
Okay, why?
I should have just
More
let
is
it run
better
through. I
than
probably
less
wouldn't have had to
because
do
if
this
stuff is
again.
not live, if there's more live stuff, then you might want to have some more, and your parents don't let you because there's only a little.
Right.
We want
You can
more,
obviously
we
see
want
the other
more.
comments
Like,
that people
you
have
really like
made
it, you
Right.
want more.
in the past little while
It's not
about the
complicated.
segment that
More
we're
is
about to
better.
see.
And AT&T has the nation's largest 4G network.
Please welcome Hunter Hunted.
I mostly just wanted to prove that it was working, right? They've got other video clips that they've set up that you can watch. They have exclusive second screen only photos that they've captured from the program. You can read Conan and Andy's blogs if you want to, find out what they have to say. You can see who's coming up on the show. You can even order tickets, right? And do lots of other things through this second screen app. So that's a pretty good example of how you can, one TV program can adapt second screen in very innovative ways, right? Now I'm going to show you another one. This one's MTV's Watch With app. No, I don't want to rate it right now. Okay. MTV's app is very colorful, it's very bold, it's lots of images, right? And it's showing you basically in the upper left-hand corner what's on right now, and then your other favorite shows, and you've got opportunities to watch past episodes, to look at photos and videos, there's trivia, there's all kinds of other stuff involved. Let's see.
So is that customizable when you say your other favorite shows?
You can, yes, you can customize it. Let's see, right now, it said that this was on live, but I don't believe we're getting, normally it's going to give me, hey, early bird, okay, it isn't really on live yet. If it was, I'd be seeing live the tweets and Facebook posts that are going through to their site on the screen, and I could add my comments in real time. I'm part of the community that's in the second screen app. It isn't actually quite on yet, so let me go back and show you a few other things they've got here. Oh, let's take Snooki and JWoww. You know, I just can't get enough. So one of the things I could do is I could look at photos and videos. I could read Snooki and JWoww's blog. That will probably kill a few brain cells, but if you want to, you could do it. Or I could take a trivia quiz. Maybe you can help me with this. What is Snooki upset with Gianni about?
What isn't she?
She fears he might be cheating on her. She feels like he's always correcting her, parenting, and not giving her enough attention. She thinks he's ignoring Lorenzo. Anybody know?
2.
2? Hey, great, we got that one right. Why is JWoww in a bad mood for most of the episode? 3? Right, okay. How does Roger feel about meeting JWoww's mom? I don't know. I'm going to guess for the rest of them just so that we can quickly get through the quiz. I'm not doing very well, as you can see. All right, how did I score? 2 points out of 5. All right, and as you'll be able to see here in a minute when I'm finished, and go back to the main screen, I have some points. Not very many, okay, but I have some achievement points. And I could cash those achievement points in for various badges and rewards and things like that if I wanted to for watching MTV, okay? All right, let's try another one. Here's TV Guide. Looks like the grid you'd see on your cable or satellite provider or whatever, but they've added a few features in the second screen app that are kind of interesting. One, I have synced it with my program provider. You can do that in settings so it knows which channels are the right channels for the programs you're watching. I don't know, do we want to, anything here we want to look at? What's going on CBS Evening News? A recap of the day's events, so that's not very helpful. I could set an alert if I wanted to. I could add it to my watch list, say that I'm watching it on a regular basis, okay? I could, while I'm waiting for that, I could pre-order Breaking Dawn. No, I won't. Okay, you get the idea. I can also see what's on later tonight. All right? I can see news about my favorite shows, more exclusive TV Guide photos and videos, TV Guide features like the Academy Awards, best shows this winter, etc. They're keeping me engaged in the TV Guide app while I'm watching television, okay? So it's a guide on steroids. We'll probably see something like this more often directly on digital TV in the not too distant future. Let's look at Get Glue. And I'm going to show you this one on my iPhone instead of my iPad. Hang on just a second. Okay. So here's Get Glue. It recognizes me. And the fact that I have checked into 0 shows and have 0 followers, I'm just not very social, at least in this app, okay? I could check in if I wanted to, okay? I could take a look at the shows that are my favorites that I've been watching. I've watched a lot of shows, and that's one of the reasons I've got a tiny few number of points on Get Glue. Because I've indicated all these different shows that I like to watch, I've gotten, the couch potato sticker. Thank you very much. I feel really impressive, okay? But I can earn stickers, and some people like that. Other people like better rewards, like can I buy stuff because of your app? So here's the deal, right? Now, if I were to tap to check in, it could actually listen to the show I'm watching and identify it. I'm not going to do that because I've got another app to show that. But I can see what's on, and if I watch what's on, right? If I watch featured shows like Comic Book Men, I can get 100 points for watching it. What happens if I get enough points? Why, I could cash in 62,500 points for a gift certificate at Best Buy. I could sign up for Hulu Plus. You know, all these sponsors who are working with Vigil, right? You can earn points and buy real things if you watch enough TV. The more you watch with their app, the better off you're going to be in terms of rewards, okay? So you see how that works. All right, now let me switch back for a second. Just a moment. And let's show you ZBox. That'll be our next one. Okay, what's on right now? Let's see what the NBC Nightly News is up to. Oh, look, no live Z tags. This is the spot. Oh, there's nothing on the screen either. Why would that be? Why is it not showing what's on my screen? Have I got it plugged in funny? No, I don't think so. Try again. Yes. You're going to do it. Here we go. It's coming. Okay. Now you know what I'm talking about. Normally, you would see some live Z tags here, okay? Meaning information about the program I'm watching right now is appearing in that space, and I can get extra information about the program. Let's go back to a program that I'm pretty sure is actually using live tags at the moment, and that would be SportsCenter. Okay, here we go. So in real time, as they're talking about different topics on SportsCenter, I can tap on any one of these live Z tags. I don't know, let's pick Eric Clapton. I'm not sure why he's involved, but here's Eric Clapton. Little information about him from Wikipedia, some news about him, people tweeting about Eric Clapton. I could download some videos or whatever about Eric Clapton while I'm engaged in watching SportsCenter, okay? I can also follow the live tweets and comments and information about the program while I'm watching, okay? These tags, what could I also include in here that you don't see on that list right now? That could help me generate revenue. What if, let's take Karen's scenario.
We've got prizes for somebody who has an answer.
Remember what Karen was asking me about a little bit earlier about these second screen apps? What happens when the commercials come on? Well, why couldn't you have a link to one of the advertisers? Or for that matter, if you really loved Hannah Storm's outfit, why couldn't there be a link to the person selling that outfit right over here? You tap the live Z tag and it takes you out to that retailer and you could buy that outfit. Or, you know, the sweats that the basketball player was wearing, or the whatever it happened to be, you could incorporate live tags if you were the program provider so that you could generate revenue. And oh, guess what? If maybe you did buy Hannah Storm's outfit, or you bought the latest book from the guys from Pardon the Interruption, or whatever it might be, maybe you could get a cut of the revenue if you were the program provider. So if that costs $50, maybe the person that sold it gets 40 and ESPN gets 10 or something like that, right? So it's revenue opportunities built into the second screen experience. A couple more, and then we're going to take your questions and comments here. Let's look at Into Now. And I know it's here. There it is. Okay. For this, I've got to go back to my pre-recorded video of The Voice. Okay? And I'm just going to leave the app up for a moment, and I'm going to pretend like I didn't already do this so that you will see it for real the first time. I could turn my laptop around, I guess, and you can see what we're actually watching here, but I can't show them both at the same time. This is The Voice. applause isn't really very good information for this app to use. Let's hope somebody talks here in a second. Carson Daly, say something.
I'm Carson Daly. We are live in Los Angeles. It is Wednesday night. The playoffs continue right here on NBC. Say hi to your coaches, Adam Levine. Mr. C.O. Green. The one and only Christina Aguilera.
Oh, it will work. It has worked.
Entertainer of the Year, Blake Shelton. Obama and his family. Tonight, we are back for more playoff performances, this time from Team CeeLo and Team Christina, who are standing with me now on the stage.
It only works when it
You at home
doesn't
can
have to
save
work.
2 of your favorites from each team, and their coach will save 1. Remember, we've stripped down the individual performances so that you can focus on what this competition is really all about, and that's the voice. For these artists here, the pressure is on because the bar has already been raised very high. Thanks to
Okay,
incredible
trust me.
performances from Team Adam
Here's
and
what
Team
it
Blake on Monday
pulled
Night
up a little
Football.
earlier.
This week,
So it identified the voice, and then it gives me opportunities to engage in social media while I'm watching the show. And one of the things about this app that I find really interesting is this feature. So what it does, the app pulls a screenshot every few seconds from the live TV program, saves it as a JPEG file, streams it to you through the app, and then if I want to, I can add my own caption and I can send it. And of course the show's not on right now, but basically what's going to happen is my caption will be added to all the ones that are over here. I did send it, I know I did. Oh well, anyway. What happens is you can actually engage in, quote, humor by writing captions while you watch the show. One more I want to show you. This is Boxfish. And I think this is really interesting for the future of news anyway. No, I don't want to rate it. Monitoring the closed captioning content from all of these programs that I select. I can select from my favorite sports programs or channels, my favorite news channels, my favorite entertainment channels. I can customize it. And then it is displaying actual text of what is being said a few seconds after it was said on the program, right? So I can track my favorite channels and I can see what they're talking about. In the Situation Room, I don't know what's going on in Arizona, but something about did officials in Washington alert you to what they were doing? Oh, that looks like the governor who's appalled by some detainees being released, okay? If I tap on that, guess what? If I happen to have the right kind of TV service, I could literally touch where it says tune to 364, and if I wasn't watching that channel, I was watching something else, because the second screen app intrigued me, I could go directly to CNN and start watching it, because they were talking about something I cared about. Then I could share it, I could set alarms to notify me, not the next time that CNN is on the air with Anderson Cooper or Wolf Blitzer or whatever, but the next time they talk about that subject, I will get an alert, a push notification that says, hey, go to CNN, they're talking about that again, okay? I can also see a transcript of the show, so if I want more than that little nugget I got of the last few seconds, I can read the transcript and see what it is they're talking about, okay? I can also see what's trending on news, sports, or entertainment programming on TV live. So right now, for example, the budget is trending, Obama is trending, the Pope is trending, okay, I don't know. Dennis Rodman in North Korea is trending. What are they saying about that?
Well, somebody I just saw who I follow on Twitter said, why is Dennis Rodman in North Korea? Did he lose a bet or something?
It took me to every channel that I've got coming through my system right now where they are talking in the past few minutes about Dennis Rodman in North Korea, right? And I can set an alert for the next time that they mention it, okay? So it'll tell me to tune into the television show that is talking about the stuff that I'm most interested in talking about. So, that gives you an idea of what the second screen looks like right now. We don't know which companies are going to win or lose. We don't know which features are going to be the features that most people want. But because of all this innovation and because of the fact that mobile is growing so rapidly and second screen viewing is growing so rapidly, we know we need to be in this space. We know as news providers, as content providers, we need not only a mobile strategy, but we need a specific second screen strategy. Questions or comments? What do you think? Do any of these apps appeal to you? Is there anything about them that you think is overblown? Is second screen really worth all the trouble? No. Talk about it. What do you think? Help me, Gareth. Say something before the students wake up and say something.
We have prizes.
Well, you know,
Prizes.
I'm maybe the wrong demographic. None of that really appealed to me.
Because you don't want to, what?
No, I just don't think I'd use any of those apps. I must say, it slightly came alive with Boxfish.
Yeah.
I could see the potential there. Maybe I don't watch that much TV, so it's not so relevant. But I sometimes think with a lot of this stuff is just because you can, do you want to?
Someone's saying, like, of course you get, the zealots, like, damn capitalist, wow, he's taking us, trying to bury this country and stuff like that. But I think it's interesting because you can kind of say one thing and you don't even expect to talk to anyone else, but all of a sudden it kind of evolves into you're talking to someone you've never met before, but you're having an instant conversation, you're instantly linked just through a tweet.
It's got to be good for democracy.
Yeah.
But if you suddenly get this chance to participate in things you could have never participated in before, or even seen, perhaps.
And there's a lot of, I think we'll all agree, I hope most of us who are, going through journalism school would agree that we still need traditionally trained journalists with the time and skills and the resources behind them to find out what's going on in the world. We can't just monitor Twitter all the time. I mean, and they get a lot of the information that's retweeted from traditional media. One of the things about second screen for television news, at least, is that if it can encourage you to go there as a source of information for news, then you're going to be able to support high quality journalism in ways that obviously the audience isn't doing now. They're not tending to watch TV news live. They're not tending, the young people especially are not tending to do that, right? So anything that can get you to engage in viewing that content one way or the other, through some screen or another, would I think be useful to the conversation. And there's some research that shows that with the tablet especially, I talked about this in my class last week, there's research that shows that people who use various apps for news and information on tablets spend more time on the content, more time watching long form videos. They find the experience more engaging and entertaining. So maybe it's a way to get to pay for higher quality journalism than a lot of news outlets are able to justify spending money on. Or not, I don't know. That's my opinion anyway. What else do you want to say about second screen? We got a few more minutes left.
And good prizes.
What about prizes? What do you think about the apps, the second screen apps that reward you either intrinsically with badges and stickers and stuff, or that allowed you to earn points to buy things from sponsors? Does that get you to watch more TV with those apps in your hand?
Okay, why? What do you think?
Why? Yeah, yeah.
Because it's funny because the TV we watch, obviously because we're interested in, so we watch it. And then while you watch it, you get prize. That's awesome.
And they're not just any prizes, right? They're prizes associated with the advertisers who are working with the second screen provider or the content provider or both. So there's a tie-in to what's on the show, right? What if the prizes were not just things you could buy, but were actually things you saw in the show, like I was describing before? Would you like to earn points to, I don't know, have a replica of the Louisville Slugger that Albert Pujols used to hit his last home run or something like that? Would that interest you if the rewards were literally tied into the content that's on the screen? make any difference?
Sort of sounds like the reward system that they have in radio. You know, the idea of call in and they're going to give you tickets to the you know, sort of person whose music is playing at the time or is popular at the time. So it seems like that would be a good direction to go. And I mean, I think it seems that the rewards, more tangible rewards, are much more likely to woo an audience than some, you know, sort of badge, at least in my opinion.
Let's think for a second about the business implications here. We started out talking about Twitter, right? And you know, lots and lots of program providers, including news program providers, could just use Twitter for most of these things. A lot of them do. Why invest all this money in all these other separate apps? What's going on there? Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Why not just stick to Twitter as your second screen partner? They've got the resources, they've got the audience, they can do all the technical things that these other apps can do. So why is there so much investment and so much interest on the part of media companies in other second screen competitors?
Well, like we talked about on Monday, like let's say that you build the Mad Men app. So you're going through that, and let's say you can take it to, I don't know, Banana Republic. They did a couple of years ago, they did a promotional thing with them. And you could say, well, look, we got 3 million subscribers to the Mad Men app, instead of just trying, and that's more of a quantifiable thing than saying, oh, look how much traffic's driven during the Mad Men episode. And if you could tie that into advertisers during the season, you know, and have promotional things, then you can go with concrete evidence.
Yeah, and there's a couple of other related things. What level of analytical data about your audience is Twitter giving to those local program providers? Is Apple giving to people who have apps in their app store? How much of the analytics that are being collected, and believe me, a hell of a lot is being collected about you through those apps, how much of that's being shared by the people creating the apps? Whether it's Apple or Twitter or Facebook, are they giving you all kinds of analytics information? Depends on the provider, but they keep a lot of it to themselves. If you're working with one of these companies working directly with TV stations, networks, program providers, you can have that up front. I'm going to get that data. Do we want to have one big monopoly for everything? Do we want Twitter to own the social media space any more than we want Apple to own the entire smartphone market or the entire tablet market? Even if you love your iPhone, do you want them to be the only choice? Right? And so these second screen apps are out there as an opportunity to break down the monopoly control that some of these players have right now. Amy, any last thoughts?
Still got good prizes.
We still have prizes?
Lots of them.
We-
The grand
tick,
prizes
tick,
are
tick.
still in here.
Tick, tick, tick. Anybody have a last thought to earn a prize? Yeah?
All like the news, like the Twitter like interactions and stuff would be good for like people who like don't really follow it that much. Like if they have a question about something they say they can ask just like the general public and like they can fill them in on it instead of looking at some other stuff.
So like the casual, or to use Rush Limbaugh's term, the low information listener or viewer or whatever, it'd be good for them. I think I think he deserves something for that. Give him something for that observation. All right. Anything else? Anybody? We want to try any more? I don't want to keep you here long. We have to. What is it? Oh, a T-shirt. From where?
From ONA.
It's an ONA T-shirt.
From the conference in San Francisco.
Last comment or question gets the ONA T-shirt. Don't be bashful. Everybody needs another T-shirt. Come on.
One more day you don't have to do laundry.
Any question or comment earns you a T-shirt. No?
Okay. Well, that just
We'll
means you'll have
save
to
it
come
for
back-
next time.
That just means you have to come back for our next meeting.
Well, anyway, thank you for coming, and if you're interested in learning more about this, well, come see me. Thank you.
Thank you.